cold December day. We are.
Okay, I've got some wet ones here.
Wet ones? You know, if you push them what in the devil you're talking about?
A wet one for your sticky hands. I've got some wet ones here. Wet what?
Well, yes, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Mama got the camera on.
Oh, sorry about that. Honestly,
You just said P.I.S.
I'm sorry, that wasn't me saying
Well,
that.
hello. We just met some awesome people from Brentwood, Tennessee.
Tell me you're gonna on some
That they came to a restaurant the same time we did. Stuff can only happen to me and Mother. We have just got through eating the biggest, well, we didn't eat all of it, we couldn't, barbecue sandwich. And she had pasta salad, and I had a little bit, just a little cup of macaroni and cheese. Are you through with it? And here, I'll put it up here in the garbage bin.
Okay.
But, you want to say hi to them?
To who? Who is it?
YouTube.
Huh?
YouTube!
Hello. I just don't see nobody but me on there.
So,
And I look like a monkey.
you do look like a monkey.
Yeah, I do.
So I rescued her.
Yes, you did.
I came up because I knew we'd been gone, and y'all can tell I really got ready today.
Yeah, most folks.
So I've been gone. So I thought, I'm gonna go get her and see if she wants to go get something to eat. Of course she did.
What'd she say?
She said, heck yeah! So we drive 30 minutes up to this little place that she loves to go. We walk in the door. I checked the website. They were open till 4. We go in the door. I'm sorry, ma'am, but we're closing. And I was like, no, y'all don't close till 4. And she's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, we're having a Christmas party. And I'm like, no, we've driven all the way from our town. I was not acting pitiful. I was being persistent. No, we've driven all this way because I checked your website and it said you were open to 4. Well, if you'll look on the door, and I said I couldn't see the door from home. And so about that time, this family of 4 comes in behind us, and they started telling them. So I said, can we get an order to go? Well, we'll have to go check. We always eat these little, and they're on soft tacos, so I don't see why the oven being off had anything to do with soft tacos. Do you?
Me?
Yeah.
Everything I ate was good. I don't know what it was.
So anyway, they said, well, let's go check. So in the meantime, they said, come sit at the bar while we check. And so I said, can we just get 2 sandwiches? Yes, you can. So sweet couple and their 2 daughters come up, which I gave them my YouTube card, so maybe they'll see this. Came up, was talking to them, and Mother's just talking to them, just no. I don't even know what she was just telling them. In a few minutes, she looked at me and she said, it's just so good to talk to someone besides a dog. Well, what does that make me? If that's the first human interaction that you've had, what does that make me? You didn't think about that, did you, Mary Faye?
I didn't think about that. Of course, I would have been I was glad you was there, but I didn't think about you.
So, they told us we could get a to-go order. Now, this family of 4, and then us 2 elderly women.
Yeah, that's true. Now, that was true.
We get our orders to go, and we go eat these humongous sandwiches in the car. They're parked over beside us.
Enough to feed a horse.
Well, yeah, we have half of them back here. And I'm like, so I'm going down the road and I'm like, Mother, I got barbecue sauce on my sleeve. And then we got sticky fingers. So we've come by Ashley's to check to see if she had any packages delivered. And they've got people staying over here that always house sits for them. But I just want to make sure no packages have been delivered today. So
they'll come up here and get us.
I was like, okay, Mama, we got to get on here and tell about our saga. So I told her when we got in the car, I said, did you notice how persistent I was that we had driven this far and we wanted something to eat? Dadgummit. I got
checked like a horse's butt.
I did not act like a horse's butt. I was very nice and professional.
Yeah, she was.
But yet stern. I know how to be stern.
Yeah.
Ashley says that I can chew you out and nobody
But you
ever
don't
knows
know
it.
it.
That you just leave there loving me. That's what my employees used to say, most of them except for one, used to say when I'd give them an evaluation. They'd say, you tell us something we wasn't doing right and we loved you in spite of it. I just believe in helping people but yet being stern. And I had driven this far. Now today it's 46. Yesterday we drove home and it was 75. So I just meant that we were gonna, I mean, because this place is kind of isolated. The only other place down the road is Jack's. And I wasn't about to eat Jack's, was you?
Nah. I was
So,
liking what was doing.
She's so picky though. She'll eat whatever you give
I
her.
didn't. Well,
You caught yourself, didn't
caught
you?
myself.
I didn't even have to beep you that time.
good.
So, Mother, they're all been wanting to know. All of them. I posted that video. They've all been wanting to know how your experience was at the Hilton. At the Hilton Hotel. You know, they called you the other day and said thank you for using the Hilton Hotel before we left. You remember when Jessica answered the phone? And they're all wanting to know what you was doing at the Hilton Hotel. And then you told them you got there on your bicycle. They was really impressed by that. And then I had to beep you after that.
Oh, naturally.
Oh, look at the barbecue sauce all over my arm where I was hipping
You're in for a wash, aren't you?
Yeah, this one, Wise Men Still Seeks Him sweatshirt. It's got to be washed. Oh, me. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can't do that. Covers it up.
But there's one thing about you're getting it on you now. And it was back when you was little, it was me.
Well,
Now, their time about.
Yeah, but I was a perfect child. I'm sure I never got my clothes dirty.
Oh, no. You never went to bed either.
Oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. Now the sun's going to be in my face and I can't put the sun visor down because it's going to cover up my camera. Now I'm burping that barbecue sandwich, too.
We're probably burping all night.
Oh, Lord. Help us, Jesus.
Yeah, he may know better and they would think it'll bother with us.
What if that's covering up? It is covering part of it. Oh, me. But we're definitely taking barbecue home with us, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. And my dog will not like it.
Oh, my gosh. Well, if you'll give it to her, she will
I
like
know,
it.
but she can't have it all and she don't know understand that.
She was looking at me because I just came in for a little while and I said, let's go. And she was looking at me like, are you going off without loving on me and taking my mother off?
And getting her something to eat.
I gave her snacks, but she was wanting me to stay and love on her for a while. She is rotten.
She's about as no care. It's the sweetest thing in the country, but she's mean too.
Well, she's just like her owner. Oh, that house looks pretty with the Christmas lights. Look at it.
It is pretty, isn't it?
Pretty.
Is that, where are we at?
Where are we at? Who am I? Give me a cigarette. What's my name?
I used to know who I was.
No, you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know anybody that lives at that
I know, but I'll
house.
tell you who it reminded me of.
Who did it remind you of, Mama?
The one that kept her young and forever and a day.
Oh, my Lord. Mother, we're nowhere near
I know
there.
that, but it reminded me of it.
Well, and their house didn't look that good either.
No, what I mean, I think
The shape of it.
But you know,
Who am I? What's my name? Give me a cigarette.
now we
Mama, could you suck on a cigarette?
Oh, good Lord, no.
Oh, you used to did.
I did, but I think I was doing it because
You were doing it in defiance.
and then too, because everybody else did.
Oh, I think you did it in defiance.
Just pure meanness, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But
He's just like, I'll show you. I'm not going to have an affair, but I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I think you did better by what you chose, Mother.
What's that?
Not having an affair and just smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
You said, you told Daddy, I'll show you. I'm not going to have an affair, but I will smoke me a big old long cigarette.
Long cigarette, blow smoke. Wow, there.
Oh, I remember the first time I saw you smoking one. It was so weird.
Well, it was weird.
You hid it from us for a long time.
I'm telling you.
It was troubling times back then.
It was troubling times. I was going up and down the road over.
Didn't have no cell phones. Had to stop at payphone. Thank God there wasn't no cell phones back then. Daddy would have been in heaven.
Oh, I'll never forget.
I love my daddy, but he was mischievous, so
He
was around her.
He kept us a good place.
He did. He was a good provider.
But he sure did.
But he kept Mama busy too.
Yeah, he kept me busy. But it wasn't with youngins. Now we didn't have that many.
Well, you had 4. That's a lot.
That's to me. Of
course.
Back in those days, that was
True. True. You know, some families are having big families again now. Not me. I got 1. That's all the Lord let me have. I sure couldn't have no more.
Oh, yes, you could.
No, I couldn't. Don't you remember? I never could get pregnant.
I was thinking of it. I was thinking
No, it took me. No, I did want another one. I wanted a little boy so bad.
Well,
I wanted a girl first, but it took me almost 3 years to get pregnant with Ashley. But see, back then, even though I'm not that old,
yes, you are.
I'm old. Everybody didn't run to the fertility doctor the first month.
God, I never seen a fertility doctor.
You didn't need to see no fertility
I could look
doctor.
cross-eyed at it.
Mother said Daddy could hang his pants on the bed and she'd get pregnant.
That's the reason I stayed away from it.
Now, if a couple tries 1 or 2 months and they don't get pregnant, they go to the fertility doctor. And so, but back
What does
then,
he do, put a little baby in there?
no, we're not going to talk about what he does. We are not going there. Not with you. Not with you, we're not. Oh, but they just didn't do that back then. I'm sure, I mean, there was fertility doctors for people who had not had children, you know, was not able to conceive in years.
If the people had seen the bedroom that Dave and Dana slept in, I would get up in the morning when they'd all get gone to school and go to make the beds. Their bed looked like 3 horses had been. They both had beds to their own self, and they both looked like horses had been in there. I've never seen.
Well, I know I've told this before. David was long gone when Dana did this, but when Dana was a teenager, he was around her. He was the prettiest thing.
Yeah.
Huge, deep dimples, and of course, he had a head full of hair back then. He was a woman's man. Oh Lord! But he would lay in there and cuss in his sleep. And it would scare me to death. And I'd get up in there and I'd go in there and I'd shake him. I'd say, "You better shut up. Daddy's going to come in here and kill you." I think I saved him many nights because he would cuss in his sleep.
Oh my God.
But I'd go in there and shake him. "Daddy's going to kill you if he hears you cussing." So Dana goes from a bicycle when he's a young teen to a horse.
Yeah.
He had a horse. Now, we have already told that story, Mother. And so he'd ride that horse all over the community. Our neighbor, well, she was across the street through the woods, but she'd said she'd be at her kitchen window washing dishes, and she had a carport there, and said Dana would ride up on the horse and talk to her, sit on the horse and talk to her through the window.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he loved
to go there.
Yeah, and he did horse shows. Him and my first cousin Keith was killed in Vietnam, and him and Keith would do horse shows all the time. We'd go watch them. It was really neat. The horse's name was Sugar, but I was always afraid of Sugar. I just felt so out of control.
I never did like to mess around too close.
Well, I just felt so out of control sitting up on a horse. Like there is nowhere to put the brakes on.
Well, I'll tell you one
There's
thing
nowhere to turn it.
Oh, they turn the brakes.
You know, now I rode motorcycles and dirt bikes when I was that age.
Yeah.
Our pastor then.
But you going to pour that horse, did you?
No, because it didn't have a brake or nothing.
Oh, he really enjoyed it.
Oh, he did. It was a pretty horse. Our pastor, when I was a teenager, he believed that girls should learn to ride motorcycles and dirt bikes. He just thought that was good. And so his daughter was my age, and we'd go to their house lots of times on Sunday evenings, and he taught us all how to ride dirt bikes. And I'd get out there and ride that dirt bike.
But I also told you how to ride a car, too.
No, I learned that when I was 13 years old from a dear friend named Reba.
Yeah.
And she lived in the backwoods country, the last church that Daddy pastored. But anyway, she had a Volkswagen. And she was widowed at 28 years old with 2 kids. Her husband had an aneurysm. And I would stay at their house all the time. I just loved them, loved her. I still love her to this day. She's the sweetest thing. And she would take me on those back country roads and say, okay, get over here. And she taught me how to drive a Volkswagen when I was 13 years old. Well, Lord, those roads were so country, there was no traffic on them. And if there was, you might pass one car every now and then.
And tell them where I lost my car.
Where you lost your car?
Driving.
Oh, Mother lost driving when Mother was driving the day.
So you're driving you to music, where it was going.
Oh, that. So the day, the week that I turned 15 and got my permit, I went to Birmingham every Monday evening for piano lessons. And Mother always drove us, and so I got my permit. Now, mind you, I've been driving the back roads since I was 13. Because I thought the other day, I'm fixing to take Reed into some of the church, like their church parking lots that's so big. Let him drive the parking lot some. And because he's 11 now, so it's time for him to kind of start getting the feel of it. But Mother told me, she said, now you can drive halfway into Birmingham and then I'll take over. Well, she said I was driving like a expert, and she said I drove her all the way into Birmingham to the piano lessons. Then I drove home in the dark, and she never drove again with me.
No.
Never got to drive again, did you?
I may have drove again, but it sure wasn't with
What?
you.
Not with me. You didn't. I thought you was talking about when you had to quit driving.
No.
Mother did not quit driving until she was 89 years old, and the only reason then, and I knew she was still a good driver. I had gotten behind her one day on the highway, and I saw that she was still driving good. But the macular degenerative disease, she was driving the day that she lost the vision in it's your right eye, right?
I didn't know.
And she said the phone poles went like this. They waved, and the stripes on the side of the road said they waved, and it was that eye going out from macular degenerative.
That's what it was, but it's been a long time. I forgot all about all that.
Yep. I have to remind you.
Sometime I can keep her for a SKU, or to keep everything before I know it later on.
Yeah, I was telling her stuff about my sister earlier about different surgeries, and she's like, I didn't know she had that done. I was like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You just forgot. You just
I tell you what, my poor
things.
brain was rattling so.
So when me and my girlfriends from elementary school got together, there's a group of us that I showed y'all a picture of. We went from the 1st to the 12th grade together. We were tight knit. And so we started telling memories the other night, and I was telling them stuff, and they're sitting there going, I don't remember that. Every memory I would tell them, they wouldn't remember it. And I'm like, y'all, I did not make this up. Janet kept saying, what was that? She called it, oh gosh, ID TV or something like that. It's like a mystery or something.
Yeah.
She said, you belong on that show. But me and Janet was talking about all the places that we played, how we would just go and stay outside in the pasture and under those trees way on the back side of their property. Now you can't let kids do that because you got to check to make sure they're not abducted. But Lord, we'd play outside all day long.
Played at our house too.
Well, the sun is killing this video. Kids are not even safe in their own yards now outside.
No,
that is so sad. I mean, you have to be constantly watching them.
Nah, that was crazy. I'm talking about something else.
That's when you had a shot. No.
Oh, when I got my ear fixed.
It was your ear. What?
I
Nothing
said,
wrong
look,
with it.
there's got horses.
Was going down the interstate. She said, well, look at all them horses. And I looked over there and it was cars.
This truck carried with a whole, I meant that all behind
It didn't have horses in the back of it, though.
No, it didn't have nothing.
It was just a big truck.
I know. See, I made a mistake.
And it had been different if we'd been to the eye doctor that day, but we'd been to the dadgum ear doctor.
Didn't help me much, did it?
No. No.
I could always make a
She said, look at all them horses going down through there. And I was like, well, I'm glad you're seeing horses because I don't
It was a big
see.
truck with a bunch of pictures on it. Is what it was.
I didn't see the
And
pictures.
I saw it,
either.
and you couldn't see Carla. It was high there, and I
I think
couldn't
she
see
was
it all.
tripping. I think she had smoked some
I wasn't smoking. I wasn't
marijuana.
drinking.
She was drinking. She had her a nip while she was in the doctor's office. She was saying a while ago, was going, I never drank. I said, Mother, good Lord, you used to drink wine. Now, mind you, maybe once a year. She'd have, but I said, you did drink wine. She said, well, I don't remember it. And I said, well, there's a lot of things you don't remember.
To tell you the truth, I don't
No,
remember.
it might have been once a year she'd have a glass of wine.
I never went and done anything like that.
I have never liked the taste of alcohol. I was telling some young person the other day, they found it hard to believe that I had never been drunk. But I've never been drunk. I've never even been close to drunk. I had a couple of drinks when I went through my divorce. But John Light, maybe it was Reed. I was telling, John has told Reed and Red, John's never put a drink to his mouth.
He never has.
Never has tasted any alcohol at all.
Well, you don't see that much.
No, but they had alcohol trouble in their home, and he just determined in his heart he was not going to do that, and he has never put a touch of alcohol to his mouth. Dr. Phil doesn't drink at all either, and Donald Trump doesn't either. But I think Dr. Phil had issues at home with alcohol when he was growing up too.
I have seen him.
But Donald Trump doesn't drink at all either.
What?
Donald Trump doesn't drink anything either.
I have never heard him saying that.
I have. Well, about got this.
Strumpet.
I wasn't gonna call you a strumpet.
Well, that's about as good as anything, because I ain't got nothing else for you to call me.
You might be flattered to be called a strumpet.
No. I'd rather be
Old and ugly to be a strumpet. About got this woman home.
If I didn't live far off the road, it'd just be so nice she could just
I tell her
drive.
all the time, because we're in a driveway now and it's quite a distance, and I tell her all the time I'm gonna drop her off at the end of the road. I don't see why she couldn't walk up this
I'll tell
driveway.
you one thing, they wouldn't try it. You don't think before and then they'd try it. They'd get their butts whipped. That's what I used to tell them.
She couldn't do it now, but she would go down, she'd die trying.
Spank some butts.
Well, anything you want to say to your fans? They like
Friends,
you.
And I'm a nice person myself, and if she don't let everybody know that how nice I am. Suzanne, you can finish that.
I don't know what to say. I've never been a liar, so there's just not a lie.
I never have either. Better just come on and say it with me.
I'm just going to say she goofed.
They say, what was wrong with your mother? She made us some funny sound.
This woman is killing me. I've got to get her off the air now. Get her off video. No.
I'm not.
Bye, y'all. Tell them bye, Mama. Bye, Mama.
Bye, you gonna leave me out here this cold?
No, I said to tell them bye.
Bye, and I'm not saying another word.
Bye, y'all.